scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect from a throw.
I can't throw it over football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Monday, December 16th, 2024. 3 more weeks of regular season football, 2 more weeks of fantasy football. And after tonight, 1 more episode for the Fantasy Millionaires 2024 edition. Week 15 has brought us both the 2024 has brought us both the Bills and Lions and Rams 49ers, but that's the past. The future is week 16 and making it to the ship. So much to think about and unpack. And what better way to get started than to finally get into, Scott, what is going on with all these UFOs?
You know what? They're firing back now in New Jersey. I don't know if you've seen the video of the tracers going back up at the UFO. It's shooting something too. That's what's weird, right? There's UFOs. I see videos of them shooting things. I don't know if these are CGI generated videos just to make us, not believe what's happening or to disinformation. But I've seen those, and then I see the guy going, just going right back up at. That's crazy shit. So you're more versed on this than I am. Are we being invaded by an Iranian offshore drone ship? That's kind of what the thoughts are swirling around. Or is that just such base level, entry level conspiracy? It's way deeper than that.
Well, the latest that I'm getting off the X machine is that these are drones that are seeking out radiation, which is scary. That this is some type of potential drill. That there could be a dirty bomb that they're looking for, or that they're conducting some type of just experiment. But yeah, man, have you seen? There was one on Frederick, Maryland. Like, it's not just in New Jersey. That's what's weird. It's like everyone's saying it's in New Jersey. I've seen people in Maryland posting videos of the weird things in the sky, and they're all like, some of them look very droney, but some of them don't. It's just. But my favorite thing about all of it is that I like how there's just UFOs now, and we're just all just like, oh well, it's like post COVID, we're all just like, okay, now there's UFOs. Like, okay, I still got to go to work on Monday, so I'll just,
right. I mean,
I gotta go to work and say, hey, there's UFOs now.
Stop working.
Yeah, now there's UFOs, and I still, hey, it's Monday, and I have to go to work.
Got to grind. Got to put in the hours. Got to put in the work. You got to perspire. What all the things The Rock likes to say. Yeah, well, the thing about all of this that is weird is it's not just here too. I've seen them over. In I think we talked about this in Iran. And Iran, they tried to shoot them down, and then the drones laughed at them. The drones were like,
that's the other thing too. I don't even know if that was real or not. That's the other thing too. Is like like
I said, misinformation, disinformation, drone information.
I see stuff on X. Here's one I saw, and this is what's so crazy with AI now being part of the internet, because people make, like, I saw today a video, and you could tell it's AI still, but like it was like Conor McGregor and Khabib hanging out when they were younger, and it starts out like it's a picture of them, and then they just start fighting, and you can tell it's AI as it goes on because their faces don't look quite right. But like, okay, I saw this video, and it didn't look fake at all. It looked like somebody's phone taking a video. And one of these things, this was a New Jersey one, was shooting lasers. It was shooting laser beams down at the ground. It was just shooting lasers. I was like, what is that?
That's a problem, is what it is. And you know it's a problem when lawmakers are out there communicating their mistrust. Yeah, take a look at some of these videos. These are videos, lasers over New Jersey, laser lights. You just see there's huge lights here in the sky, and then they're pulsating back and forth. Doesn't make any sense. How is that working? Look at that. What the heck is that? Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. This is a really weird world that we live in right now, where aliens or drones or spy technology or just people messing around or infrareds or what. I mean, who knows what's going on? The world's lost its damn mind. That's what I think is going on.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious how desensitized we are to it. Like we're just all, it's basically hilarious that you know, I was telling you because you hadn't heard of it that you know some people are saying this is Project Bluebeam. This conspiracy theory where there's going to be a fake alien invasion to, get, control of government and, put people into a position where they have to do things, so that's the idea of what Project Bluebeam is. And, I don't know how old that theory is, but it's been around. It's like it's something that's been in the milieu for a really long time. And it's like, that if that's what this is too, it's like it just doesn't like none of it, nothing's happening. Like we're all like, yeah, the most I've seen so far is just random New Jersey citizens
What the
taking their
hell is
shotguns
this?
and shooting it.
What the
Yeah,
hell is this?
right. That's
Some cauliflower spinning around. I mean,
yeah, dude. That looks like out of the book of Ezekiel. Like,
right,
I
right.
mean, really weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it is just super weird. I'm not sure I can stomach it all. It's a lot. It's a lot for sure. Well, listen. At least men are still men, and they're not being weird, and they still think Sydney Sweeney is hot, and but they don't. And that was the other thing I wanted to talk about before we started our show was, have you figured out, have you heard about the Sydney Sweeney situation? And you had not. So the UFOs to me are crazy. This might be even crazier though. And it stems from just, men are so stupid. We know that already, but so recently some pictures dropped of a very lovely lady, but these were kind of taken, out of context. They're not. This is Sydney Sweeney's not in a shoot. She's just hanging out at her house. Some creeps taking pictures of her, selling them to magazines. So the guy compares this, image of Sydney Sweeney to these, and he says something along the lines of, "This should be illegal. This is what causes misogyny." And so men have lost their damn minds. Men expect women to be sex pinups all the time, and so many people came out just attacking her, and men mostly, incel right wing guys just talking shit about the ladies, and it was pretty funny because they went viral, and it became a thing to the point where people were just posting this meme of her in the 4 pictures, and then they were like talking bad about ice cream. They're basically just talking bad about great things that we all love as like a mockery of it. What do you think about this, man? How can you believe that the world is eating up Sydney Sweeney already? Did you predict that at the end of 2024 that she's already had too much exposure to the world? Because for my money, man, she's amazing. I'm nothing bad to say about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, to me, it's just typical internet. It's what people do on the internet. People are the worst versions of themselves. So it's no one would talk like this in front of Sydney Sweeney. No one would. Yeah, no one would go on record. No one would do a podcast
Right.
and say this stuff. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
it's become like this noir new thing too, to like Andrew Tate-ish, just to to say women are gay, to like being like soft and saying if you like it's gay. And so what's so interesting is criticizing beautiful women and making it sound like you're better than them. That's pretty, yeah, it's not cool. Like that's pretty like it is pretty like who are you for? Are you for the boys? You know what I mean? Like what team you playing for? If I see a pretty woman, I just go, it's a pretty lady, or I move on with my day. I don't make a stand against a beautiful woman. That's not something most heterosexual men do. You know what I mean? Closeted men might do that, who are pretending to be incels or whatever. But yeah, it's weird. It's a weird world we living in. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not a fan of this kind of behavior. I think the women should be respected and treated as humans, not as pieces of meat. So I just want to put that out there.
yeah, I the Sydney Sweeney thing. I mean, I did see a little bit of it. I mean, it's just like everything on the internet, just like trends
Just goes
for a
yeah,
little bit. So I'd actually already seen that picture. So I
yeah,
mean, yeah, she looks like, I mean, someone without makeup on. It's
right. A normal. You remember when you and I stayed in Chicago with a lady who had makeup on, and we were like, "Oh man, that's a different person." Guys don't have that social pressure to look a certain way all the time. You can look at some of the older gentlemen; they look like schlubs in Hollywood, Jack Nicholson, things like that. But also in those pictures, Sydney Sweeney is made up by the industry. She's being propped up by makeup, by things I mean, maybe she wouldn't wear herself all that expensive. I mean, it probably takes a lot of work to look like a starlet on a photo shoot all the time. That's not something I'd want to do all the time. So I just think people need to understand the context of who humans are. And it just looks like in our world, we're eating people up for instant reactions to our feelings. We're not really thinking of it, or our emotions or whatever, or our thoughts. Like this one thought I just thought, you know what I mean? But it wasn't just this person. There's lots of people just saying she's mid, she's washed, whatever it is. So it is
it
just
just seems like, to me,
hater's
all it
world.
is people just are
Hate,
being
hate,
exposed
hate.
to makeup. I mean,
Right.
it's just makeup. I've watched all these different videos of people who can go from like a 2 to a 10 with makeup. I mean, makeup is amazing, you know? So, right, when you see someone like Sydney Sweeney, who is the top starlet in Hollywood right now, most of the time you're gonna see her. Yeah, I guess that's the first time you've seen her without me. But that's how every star
Right.
looks
That's how
without
just
makeup.
humans look. They don't look all painted up like that in that first image of her
I
with
mean,
the
have
red
you
dress
seen
on.
videos where people go from like 2s to 10s?
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like it is insane what they're capable of doing with makeup. Like if you do one of these like super face paint jobs that are like an hour long where they just like do every aspect of your face, like it's insane.
Or you can just have a beard. That's what I do. A little mustachio, a little, a little shadow, a little edging. So, well, listen, we BS and talk enough about aliens and UFOs and pretty girls. But yeah, that's what we live in now, where, incels are shooting at UFOs and then posting online about how ugly, Katie Sweeney is these days. So
I just hope she doesn't too early start doing that weird stuff where they
if she
start.
loses their neck, they lose
No,
all
they
their,
just start putting stuff in their face. Like,
oh, that thing.
yeah, it's so
That's
weird.
not
You
good
see
either.
everybody in Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood gets, nip and tucks, right?
Right,
Like
right. Little
that's
this and
part of
that.
the there
Yeah.
look, it looks good. I mean, almost everyone that we see publicly that's over probably the age of 30 is already doing a nip and a
Tom
tuck.
Cruise has had more under the knife than
But there is this weird threshold where they go past nip and tuck and they start doing
The shit. Oh fuck.
like just too much like cheek chunk or something like that,
Yeah.
like remember Courtney Cox?
Oh yeah. It's terrible.
Like all of a sudden it was just like she just went in for one
One
too
too
many
many.
times. Yeah,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden she has just like AI
Not.
face or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna dye my hair. My father-in-law, shots fired. My father-in-law got me Just for Men for Christmas as a little pre-Christmas present. He sent it home for St. Nick's. Opened up the bag. There was a picture of me in the bag. I said, "This is gonna be he's a gag gift, isn't it?" Oh yeah, it definitely was. Because in the picture, I looked like I had a lot of grays. Pulled out the Just for Men. I was like, "You son of a bitch!" So it was
My
good.
dad asked me if I wanted that for Christmas this year too for my little spot. I was like, "No. I
No,
don't mind grays." I'll tell you
I'm
this
living the
though.
dream.
I don't mind grays. They don't bother me at all. I like my little old man soul patch I got going on here. I like it.
Yeah,
It's cool. I think it
yeah.
looks right,
You look good. This
I
is the
I
age we're in.
would if I banked $1 million tournament, I would buy some more hair. I'm not gonna lie about
Hey,
that.
listen, I would do
I would
that too.
freshen it up.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
would put one of these new lines right here, so I
Right.
had one of these
Get
like
the Tosh point oh new the
yeah,
McConaughey, the fix
I
it
would do
up.
that.
Yeah,
I would
I
do
would too.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm going there too. When you get me drying off my hair in the morning, it's not pretty. And I go in the pool. My daughter goes, "You're bald." I said, "Please don't tell anybody." So yeah, no, I'm with you completely. All right. Hopefully your team isn't bald right now. And we talked about this last week. We'll transition into our show. We are happy to be here talking fantasy football in the playoffs, right? And we are in the playoffs in our home league. We got the bye. So last week we did talk about all the different things you should do, the waiver wire, start, sits, elevate, mitigate, eviscerate, we call it. We got you in, we got you home. We did the DFS stacks of cash. Should have gone with Rodgers, man. Oh man, we made a misstep there, but whatever. We got a redemption Rodgers tour again later in DFS stacks of cash. It's called a tease. But with that being said, we're going to talk about kind of through the lens a little bit of our own fantasy teams, particularly when we get to elevate, mitigate, eviscerate, and how this weekend is going to play out, because we are in the semifinals, getting into that final championship game next week. We want to win that cash. It'd be great for the Millionaires to face off against each other for about $2,000. So I think this is going to be a great show. This is a real poignant show where we're going to put up our own lineups. At least I'm going to put my team up there, and we can talk a little bit about what we would do. So with that being said, I will let you start on the wire. If you're picking up anybody, let's kind of talk about priority first right now, because maybe you don't need a QB, maybe you don't need what are you looking? Who are you looking to pick up as the number 1 seed this week, Mike Cash Collins?
Jalen McMillan again. I mean, he was my number 1 seed last week, and he's my number 1 seed this week. Didn't get scooped up a ton, still out there. I think he is the pickup on the waiver wire. I don't know though. I think there's a pretty decent amount of people at this stage of the season, like Rashad Bateman still out there, low owned. But yeah, to me, Jalen McMillan is the pickup of the week. What is he owned in ESPN?
He's only 10% rostered
Yeah,
in
right,
ESPN, so
right.
that's an easy one. Yeah, I wrote him down first as my first pickup, and then I thought about it a little bit though. He's right up there with Jerome Ford too, given that Chubb was a little banged up. Not sure his status. I think if Chubb is out, that just kind of is a big boon for him. They have Cleveland versus Cincinnati next week. And so wide receivers, I gotta get to RBs. It might be between him and Ford, depending on your positional need too. Last week against a tough Kansas City defense, 12 yards per carry. So he broke off that big touchdown run. He got 28 points. And he looks a lot more effective than Nick Chubb at this point. So I do like, I think I might go, Jerome Ford first, then McMillan. Nick Chubb he's out. I'm not sure how long he's out for. Let's see.
What is Jerome Ford owned at?
I think he's around 30%, 32%. Yeah, so he might be the stash if there's no more Nick Chubb. If he's out for last
I'd
couple
go
weeks of the
Jerome
season.
Ford too.
I think Ford to me bumps up. That's kind of where I'm. Yeah. I like Baker. I'm down with Baker for the rest of the season too. I don't know all the matchups depending on who you have, but I think that quarterback wise, Stafford's still available. Aaron Rodgers is still available in a lot of leagues as well.
I got a good one. I got a good one for you.
Who do you got?
How about if he doesn't get benched because he's gonna get cut? I was thinking about him for Eviscerate, and then I saw the matchup. How about Jameis Winston?
I mean, Cincinnati gives it up.
Oh my gosh, they give it up.
They give it up. They do
give it up.
It might be a DTR though.
I
Jameis
know, but I don't
think,
dude. I don't think. Right. So
3 interceptions. I mean, he was so bad.
It was so bad.
So bad.
But Cincinnati is so bad that I would legitimately consider starting him in week 16. Like, I don't think they're going to put DTR in. I know, right? He's either like, I mean, he's elevate, he's mitigate, he's eviscerate. Like, but it's just. Did you see? I just saw this like an hour ago. It was Joe Burrow. It was like a little clip of him on the sidelines, and Zach Taylor was bent down next to him talking to him, and you didn't need a lip reader to see him just being like, "This is so fucking stupid. This is such a fucking embarrassment." Like you could just see he's so tired, and they were winning. They were winning the game at that point with like a minute left. It was like 37-21. Like he's just so tired of all of this. Like they're such a good team offensively. I mean, this is the best version of Joe Burrow we've ever seen. Like he's so good, they're so good, and they have to play so I don't know. I don't see why Jameis Winston doesn't. I don't see why they don't win that game. I think Jameis Winston could have 400 yards.
Yeah, I mean he could do that against that team for sure if he gets in there. That's an interesting little play. I don't dislike it. I have him. If you don't have him or if he's not available, I said this last week, and it is just I can't believe I'm saying it again. But Aaron Rodgers has continued to play well. He's ranked 12th in our league. He had 40 points last week, coming off of 24. He's playing the Rams. Buffalo, not a great matchup, but the Rams, I think he can get it in. So he's somebody who he might be available. I'm not going to. I think I might go Jameis over him. But if you don't have Jameis, then Aaron Rodgers could be somebody. He wants to throw it to Devontae Adams. That's all he's doing. I mean, throw it to Garrett Wilson too, but he's throwing to Devontae Adams so much. I mean, it's 27-47 the last 2 weeks. He's got 300 yards. 35 targets the last 3 weeks. So homeboy's cooking. And I don't see him stopping. The run game's not going well. Breece Hall's been banged up. He's just throwing the football. So,
dude, my wife in the family league that we're in, she played against Devontae Adams. This team is going to score 280 points. Like,
that's disgusting.
Every single person on his team was like Devontae Adams. Like,
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. If you have those 3 players, then you have 150 points.
Have you ever seen that? I mean,
no, never.
280 points. Like it's not some weird.
I've seen it once. My wife got 280 points once, and I was just like, "This is insane."
I've never seen that.
Insane, something like that. Yeah, those are just like show Matthew Berry. Like show Dave Richard. Put it on the World Wide Web for ESPN to show the whole world.
I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford is still available too.
Yep, he was my first guy that I mentioned. Yep.
Right.
But here's the thing: would you start Matthew Stafford against the Jets secondary, or would you start Aaron Rodgers against the Rams secondary?
Yeah, right. That's a good question. I think I think I'd probably go Stafford, dude. Like,
Yeah.
that Thursday night game was just an aberration. I mean, I just feel like safer. Like Aaron Rodgers this past game, he finally hit, he finally connected, but he is more elderly than Matthew Stafford. So, I'd probably, me personally, I would probably go Stafford.
Yeah. I think I'm leaning Stafford too. Here's the thing about it. We'll talk about it later. I'm a little worried about Cooper Kupp, and I was worried. We talked about it before. You said, "Don't be worried. Don't be worried." We should have been worried. Good thing we had a bye, or I had a bye. I did play him in a league that I didn't have a buy in, but I'm going to win that matchup anyway because I had some other guys go off like Devontae Adams. So I got coverage in some of those situations. I think I had Mike Evans in that team too. So I got over, but yeah, that was a tough one for Cooper Kupp, and he kind of rattled my cage a little bit there. So. That's the thing about Matthew Stafford. He's got to get to Puka. He's got to get to Cooper Kupp. Those are his weapons. He doesn't really have anybody else to throw the football to score touchdowns. So those are his guys, which is not a problem if he's getting to them. Let's look at this game against the Jets and see what the total is right now. I bet you it's 42. Oh, it's 46 in a hook. Never mind. All right. They think it's going to shoot out a little bit. It's going to be cold in this weekend coming up in the 20s, the 30s, pretty much across the East Coast. We'll see how this game hits a little bit. Might be a little windy too, but yeah, okay. I can see this happening. They're both around similar yardage. That's so interesting. Aaron Rodgers 23 touchdowns to Matthew Stafford's 19. Both have around the same interceptions. Rodgers is behind him by 200 yards, but yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is there, man. I would not sleep on Aaron Rodgers. So I think I might lean Rodgers. You might lean Stafford. So, but I like it. RB wise, besides Jerome Ford, there are a couple other ones around. I dropped him, I know, in our league, and I didn't want to because I just for backup. But Justice Hill came out and had a good game last week, and so he's somebody who he should just be rostered. I mean, anyway, but he's available in our league. He's 33rd overall. He just needs that 1 or 2 touches, and he can go. He got 20 points, 19 points. So last couple weeks, he has been viable. If you've been playing on the off week, you could be getting him every other. He can get you some points. So. You can pick him up, and I think anybody else who might be.
What about Ty Johnson?
Ty Johnson. Yep. I think he's somebody who we could pick up as well now.
That wheel route, dude. That wheel route. It's just they keep the past 2 weeks they just keep doing it. It's like I don't know. I might put Ty Johnson in my week 16 lineup somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, he's got a touchdown, no touchdowns though. If he gets the week before he had a touchdown, but yeah, if he get another touchdown, that'd be 114 yards though. Jeez,
yeah.
That's just so many.
He keeps dipping out down the sideline and catching these nice bombs from Josh Allen, dude.
Yeah. Nope, he's available. And then also, I don't know what you think about, but maybe Gainwell's getting a little bit of run these days too in Philly. So yeah, if any injuries to Saquon ever happen,
Tajay Spears is out there too.
Spears, yep. I like it. Okay, wide receiver. Anyone besides McMillan that you're focusing on?
I said Rashad Bateman.
Yep,
Jalen
I got Bateman on my list.
Had a big game. Romeo Doubs is still out there. Those would be the guys for me.
I think also Quentin Johnston's on like 50% of the teams, and so. It's interesting with the Chargers. They mostly focus on Ladd McConkey, but he's a little banged up. But it's like on again, off again. 15, last couple weeks, 2 touchdowns back-to-back weeks.
Catching the ball, it's always there.
Well, listen, man, he runs through people too. If that guy ever gets told that he could, fly to the moon, maybe he would. Like he's a big guy. You saw it when he caught the ball down in the red zone or the green zone down there in the 0 to the 10-yard lines, the green zone. Turned around, he bodied a couple people, went through people. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, bro. Every time, catch the fucking ball, and then you're an animal. What are you doing? So
he looks great when he catches the ball. He looks great.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous.
He looks phenomenal when he catches the ball.
Yeah. See that injury, see that Q tag, but in our league he's rostered. But yeah, I think overall 56% rostered. So he's out there a little less than half the leagues. Tight end wise, Strange,
right.
a little strange.
Yeah. What did he have this past week? Like
He went
15
ballistic.
targets or something like that. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
something unbelievable. I knew that Evan Ingram was not going to get any run. Look at this. So he just stepped out of
12 targets.
12 targets, stepped out of a Christmas card. Yeah, 11 for 12. That's nice. 11 to 12 for 73 yards. Didn't even pick up a score. But just consistent there for that short yardage. Mac Jones likes to target his tight ends. He did that with Hunter Henry up in the old New England days. So, yeah, I think Brenton Strange is somebody you might want to get on top of.
Yeah, how about Mac Jones was kind of balling out a little bit in that
Yeah,
last
he
game.
might be in my silver stack this week. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Another guy who I do have him rostered, but he's around 50-50, 51%. Pat Fryermuth, man, he's got touchdowns in 3 straight games. And I know Pickens could come back at any moment, but in the red zone, you want that. You want the TDs, baby. So I think he should just be on a team. And Baltimore, they're going to need to score against Baltimore to win the game. I know he didn't have a great game against them previously, but I do think he's worth rostering. So make sure Pat Fryermuth isn't languishing on your waiver wire. So.
Chiga Conquo too.
Chig. Oh yeah, get Chiggy with it for sure. I'm down.
10 target game versus Cincinnati. So
yeah, and no offense. I'll show a picture later. Will Levis made another moment where he threw an interception for a TD and just got run over.
Mhm.
So that guy is living the dream. Yeah, Chig 10 targets. You love to see that. That's where it should be. For sure. Okay. Defenses. I think you mentioned them last week. Did you not? The Chiefs. They should be rostered, and they put in the work against Jameis too. They're not rostered in ours. They did it. They're 10th overall now, but 12-23 the last 2 weeks. 4 turnovers. That's a lot of interceptions. 2 fumble recoveries. So 5 sacks. I mean, geez Louise, man. Only gave up 7 points. So I think they should definitely have a spot in your roster. Anybody else?
I think the Packers, they're under 50% owned, and then they have the Saints this week. So
Hayner or Rattler? No,
I think
Hayner
it'll
sucks.
be Rattler.
The Rattler. Yeah, we talked about Green Bay a couple weeks ago. Hopefully you guys were paying attention and weathered some of the storms. But yeah, they're averaged 8th, and then they had 0. Yeah, Detroit's the storm. And 20
versus Seattle, man. Like
you called that. Good call about them kind of dominating. Dobbs went off. Jaden Reed did not. Christian Watson did not. So it seems to be just Josh Jacobs and then one random Packers wide receiver, and that's why I told you to sit the wide receivers. You don't know which one you're going to do. Like it's
Watson still had what? What did Watson have? Like 13 points or something. Like he's kind of like reemerged as the wide receiver 1 on that team.
He had 8.
Okay.
He had 8.
Only 8.
Yeah.
He had a couple drops too.
Yeah, some drops. He's the dropster,
Yeah, well, a couple of them were kind of hard.
Yeah, Reed had 11, which is, I mean, that's fine. Better than 0, but Dobbs ended up being the guy, with 19, but then he only really caught those 2 and he got 1 more after that. So it's a real scattershot situation. And really what you're getting is the Josh Jacobs show every single week.
It really is.
It's what it is. It's 26 fucking carries. He's got 30 touches, right? Four different receptions. I mean, that is the Josh Jacobs show. 25, 33, 23, 26, 24. He's probably ranked like 3rd or 4th in the league, 5th. Yeah, I mean, he's unstoppable. He's undeniably just the force of that offense. And they said something too, like he doesn't do any spin moves. He doesn't do any moves in the first half. He's just like, I just give him the base package in the first half, just run him over. Then in the second half, I'll unleash the beast. I'll start doing moves on people. He's like, this motherfucker is just like setting them up in the first half to like gouge him in the second. This guy is just thinking like, I'm going to touch the ball 30 times. I'm going to get them all, just thinking I'm going to run them over, and then I'm going to finesse the shit out of them. So, man, I love this headbanger to finesse, and then he can headbang if he needs to. But that's where it's at. Josh Jacobs is their offense. So anyway, I digress. That was not what we were talking about, but I Packers fever swept me over. Anybody else you're picking up? I think the Cowboys defense might be worth a little bit of a tangle,
Yep, Cowboys defense is definitely on the upswing. Who do they play though? They don't have that good a matchup.
Tampa Bay, which is not great, but
yeah.
I mean 27, 19, 21,
Although Baker does throw those picks, so
he does.
if you're in a pinch, Yeah.
He's a Pickster McGee. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else you're picking up this week on the wire?
That's it for me, baby.
No. Okay. So the way we're gonna do Elevate, Mitigate, Eviscerate this week, it's a little bit different. I was talking to Mike Cash Collins about it, and we're gonna be as real as rain and get into our teams. And so this is my team right here. And I do have some questions about who I should start at quarterback and questions about who I should start at wide receiver. Running back, I don't really have any questions, but we do need to kind of do Elevate, Mitigate, Eviscerate for myself. And then if you guys have any questions, please throw them in the comments about who you're considering this week in the playoffs. You need to advance to the finals. Are you risking it? Do you have solid matchups? Kind of where you headed? So here's my issue. I've got Jared Goff coming off the performance of the week at QB. In our league, Jared Goff scored 60 points, and he's quarterback 6. All right. And 60.5, 34, 23. So that's pretty good. That's really, really good. He's not going to get that this week against Chicago. This is a second matchup against Chicago. Chicago has played less effective as of late. Their defense is ranked one of the best against QBs. If you go back and look at them this year, they're second overall. But the last 4 weeks, it's been a little bit different a story for them. They fall down significantly all the way to 25th. So I know they can be had. It's not like they cannot be had at this point. Chicago kind of is a dumpster fire. Lost their coach, lost their next, lost everybody, right? Offensive coordinator, coach. They got their quarterbacks coach now being their whole coach of the whole team, right? So big situation going on there. But then on the other hand, Kyler Murray is going up against a great matchup. And I've not played Kyler Murray for a while because he's been kind of hot garbage. But for the whole season, he's going up against the Panthers. And, the Panthers give it up. They've given it up, and they like to give it up. They've given up 27 touchdown passes. They've given up 3,200 yards to QBs. They've given up 3 rushing touchdowns. They have 30 touchdowns, right? So I'm at a rock and a hard place. I got a QB who is on fire, but he's had to be on fire because he's playing against the Bills, and they needed to come back against the Bills. And game flow really did dictate that Jared Goff had to throw 5 TDs and had to do that because the score was 900 to 800. So he had to get back that 100. This situation is a little different, and I'm a little wary. So let's weigh in. This is, me getting my thoughts. I'm leaning Kyler Murray right now. There's also, we mentioned him, Jameis Winston hovering in the backfield. So I need to elevate, mitigate, and eviscerate one of these guys and, all of these guys actually. So let's get your thoughts where you're leaning and how you're jumping into this fray. I've set the table. Let's have some dinner.
Okay. Man, I'm tempted to start Jameis, to be honest with you.
I knew you were going to say that.
I really,
Let's state your case, good sir.
Listen, it's the playoffs. Let's go back up and look at your team. Right. Okay. For me, you have to look at, so go to week 16. Let's look at week 16. So Derrick Henry versus Pittsburgh, Chase Brown versus Cleveland, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy versus Cincinnati. Oh, so juicy. CeeDee Lamb versus the Bucks.
Yeah.
Thielen versus Arizona. I just think for me at this point, the other thing is Jared Goff does, like you said, the Bears, they have they have a bad run defense too. So I would be kind of maybe thinking about moving away from Jared Goff if David Montgomery wasn't injured. Like now David Montgomery is out for the season. Okay. I just found that out. I did not know that. Yeah, I did not know that either. I have him on one of my teams too. I have Sonic and Knuckles on that team. Yeah. Which is a bummer because you put them in and you get 50 points one way or the other. So I start them every week, and losing Montgomery is a bummer. Because one of them is always like the best RB2 and one of them is a top RB1. I think with Knuckles being out, now it's Jahmyr Gibbs to the moon, and you bring in his skill set as well, where he is, the PPR back. I just feel like the floor is so safe with Goff. I also like the fact that he's coming off a loss. I think that Dan Campbell is going to throttle the next team that he plays. Okay. I think, this is an opportunity for the Lions to just run up the score. Like
It's like you got beat up by somebody, and you got to go beat up somebody else to be.
I mean,
like
you
a
just
full
gotta
man.
love that guy, right? Like he goes.
Yeah.
I mean, if they win the Super Bowl, he's going to be such a hero. He's probably going to make a mistake that's going to cost him the Super Bowl, but you can't not love it. Like the guy has just got balls, bro. He's just got the stones, and you just know, like his whole mentality is alpha, right? Like this game is going to be Lions being alpha. They are going to alpha their division opponent in a big way. So to me, I just feel like safest play Goff week 16. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm leaning that too. I mean, they're both projected around the same, and I'm surprised at how high Jared Goff is projected, 27 for both of them. And so it's kind of, I don't think it's going to be too much of a difference in there either. If you take my my thought, maybe 31, 28, 27. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a little bit yeah, it's a little bit worrisome for me. I want to make sure I don't sidestep it. But with Dave Montgomery going out, that really does. They're gonna have to throw the football a lot. Like now, the offense does change.
It.
Yeah, it changes it. So I think I'm leaning there too. All
right, let me do my scenario. Let's go to my team. We can go directly to my buy team because it's a real question. Okay.
How do I get to opposing? Oh, here we go. Perfect.
Todd God. There we go.
Here we go. Go over to your matchups in week 16. Here we go. Ooh, I like it.
Okay. Now, Geno Smith banged up, but the report is there's going to be further testing, but the report is he probably would be good to go. Okay. Let's say he is. Okay. Geno Smith plays the Vikings. Okay. That is a juicy matchup for quarterbacks in fantasy 2024. Okay. He's basically, had a bad game this past week, but basically, you just kind of see his numbers every now and then he pops. This would potentially be the type of game that he could pop, or Jordan Love versus the Saints, who, every week Jordan Love gets him down the field, and then it's the Josh Jacobs show inside the 10.
We did talk about that. Yeah, not good.
Which way you leaning?
I think touchdown variance and touchdown flow in games is hard to predict who's going to score when and how it's going to work out. I think what you've seen is when the ball is meandering down the field, Josh Jacobs gets the touchdown. When the ball is thrown deep and someone gets tackled at the 5, Josh Jacobs getting a touchdown. So how many of those aren't tackled at the 5 against New Orleans, who at this point, if we pull up this game, let's
bit of a run funnel too. Like they're also a top 10 run funnel defense.
Yeah. It is tricky. I think I'm leaning Jordan Love in this situation because of the weapons that he does have. Like we talked about, we don't know which of the wide receivers is going to get some, but Dobbs had 2 touchdowns, right? And I know that it's like the weapons are better for Geno Smith, but the offense is not. The offensive line is not. The scheme is not. It's tricky. So I don't know. Right now, I'm leaning Jordan Love, but I want to see the total in this game too. Right now, the total's not been released. They just have most of the betting action or most of the matchup predictors, 83%. But apparently they've not given us the over under on this matchup yet. So I want to know. It's going to be in Lambeau, which I like. That's a Jordan. Like, what does Jordan Love want to give his people for Christmas? He want to give them touchdowns, right? I mean, it's in Lambeau. 23rd. People are going to be in the Christmas hats. Going to be drinking the Yuletide ale. They're going to be drunk. I mean, it sounds like a Jordan Love fest to me, honestly, going away. But, who knows? Maybe they struggle. Maybe it's a tricky game. It's a night game. That's cool. I mean, probably is it a Monday night game? Is that the Monday night game next week? Might be.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I already know I'm starting Jordan Love, but I wanted to.
Yeah, that's kind of my lean on that. But yeah, here's the thing about for running backs, and I'm not trying to throw shade on Sharps, but that was the only matchup like I did not like from yours when I looked at your matchups. Like I like Tyrone Tracy. He didn't get the touchdown last week, but I still like Tracy, even though he kind of sucked last week. Baltimore is great against the run. Atlanta's not Baltimore, so I'm not as worried there. But then Sharps, Minnesota does really well against RBs, and last week Sharps got a little bottled up. 14's fine, but got one touchdown, but didn't do what I know he can do. What do you think about Sharps? You worried about him at all? Is there anybody else that you could jump in here? Maybe no, I don't think so. Maybe Bigsby.
I mean, my question is not on this team, but is Bigsby versus ETN? Who are you going in week 16?
I didn't get a big share of this game except for seeing the Brian Thomas Jr. touchdowns. So 11 carries. How did ETN fare? How many carries?
ETN was the dominant back in this game.
Yeah. I mean, I might lean away from Bigsby then and go to Sharps. I mean, I think we know if there's no Kenneth Walker, then you're definitely going to go Sharps. But if Walker's back, it does make you think Bigsby possibly. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I have Kenneth Walker, so I'm going to start Kenneth Walker.
Is he? Oh, there he is. He's down in your thing. Okay, thank the Lord Jesus. All right. Yeah. Very nice. Well played, sir. Well played. All right. Well, I do have a question. Go back to my team for Elevate, Mitigate, Eviscerate. I want to know wide receivers. What would you do? You saw my team. I have a plethora. Right now, started and slated to go is CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, he's the number 3 wide receiver in the NFL in points. Jerry Jeudy is number 9. He's slated to go. We talked about them. Now, here's the deal. I've got 3 spots or 3 wide receivers for 2 spots, honestly. I've got Devonta Smith, Adam Thielen, and Cooper Kupp. New York Jets are, top against wide receivers. You think somebody's going to eat here? Are they going to shut down, Cooper Kupp? Are they going to shut down Puka? How's it going to kind of go? One of them's going to get, the blanket treatment. I'm not sure if sauce will be spilled, but he did have an interception in the game last week. He played well. He was back. So this matchup is a little scary for me. On the other hand, Arizona shootout with Carolina. I love that matchup. I think, Adam Thielen's got life for days. I know he didn't, get a bunch of points in the last game, but I'm not really worried about that. And then Devonta Smith blew up 30 points, and against Washington. Terry McLaurin is second in the NFL in touchdowns to Jamar Chase with 11. So, you're going to have to compete against Washington. I think Devonta Smith is back. So, what do I do, man? This is one of those things where, like, I don't want to fuck this one up. This is where the meat is made, if you know what I'm talking about. So, give me your guidance, good sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely a tough call with this one, right? I kind of feel like any of them are safe. I don't think there's gonna be I'll put it like this. I do not think Cooper Kupp goes out and has a 0 burger, right?
No. I think he could get like 11 or 12, but like upside wise, I think Thielen has the safest upside overall out of the 3 of them. Like I'm leaning him, just keeping him in.
Thielen is probably the one I feel like has the safest floor too.
Right. And then Smith and Cooper, I'm leaning Smith after what he did right now. Just given, what I saw, I like it. I like it a lot,
I'll
So
tell you what, though, the Jets, in the 2024 season, you look at fantasy points against, they're one of the best versus wide receivers, but over the last 4 weeks, they're, a pass funnel. Like the Robert Saleh firing like ruined that defense. I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
they're not there. I mean, you just saw the Jacksonville Jaguars just go ham on them, right? Like I just don't think I'm not worried about Cooper Kupp in this
You
game.
think it's over for them, not over for Cooper?
I think that Thursday night game was a total aberration. It
For
was a
everybody,
Thursday
just
night
for everyone
game.
involved. The
It
rain soaked, super
was
terrible.
rainy. Yep, it was just a bad game where people were just slogging through. Puka is going to Puka, but I mean, click on Cup, right? I mean, he he's been solid except for that last game. He did okay, so he did have a bad one versus New Orleans too. So, um, you know, I feel like, yeah, yeah,
My guy Mark is saying maybe that AJ Brown might be down, and if that's the case, then I mean I gotta play Devonta Smith. Then you know what I mean? Like that's something that's like,
right. If AJ, but I don't think he is. I think
yeah.
he's questionable.
I hope not. I hope he
I
plays.
don't
I
even
mean,
yeah, I don't even see a questionable tag on him. I see
okay.
healthy. So,
Yeah.
I think there was some little thing that happened in the game, and then he was fine. So,
Yeah. It's tricky. I mean, to me right now, Cooper Kupp and Devonta Smith flip a coin, but I want to win, and I got a tough matchup whoever I play. So, whew. All right. I got another matchup here: Hunter Henry or aforementioned Pat Fryermuth. Oh,
oh,
you
wait,
know
let me
what?
do my wide
Hey, I forgot
receiver.
about
Hold
yours.
on.
Yeah,
All
what's yours?
right. Okay, how about Jaden Reed or DK Metcalf?
This is a tricksy one.
DK
Yeah.
Metcalf has just been poo-poo, but they play the Vikings.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed, same thing, man. Like, who do I start?
Yeah, that's not great.
Who are you going with? DK Metcalf plays the Vikings, but it's the JSN show now.
Yeah. I mean, 4-4-3, 4-4-3, no TDs. 14, 9, 10, 8, 5. That's not good. I mean, I think DK Metcalf has a safer floor. I think Jaden
You
Reed.
think?
I
I
mean,
don't even know, because I feel like Jaden Reed at least gets like sweeps. Like he gets jet sweeps.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He did 3 rushes, right? Okay, so not 8 touches overall. Yeah, maybe it's Jaden Reed. I don't know. I told my
I'm
wife
leaning
DK
Reed.
Metcalf has been a huge disappointment this year.
Such
So
a huge disappointment.
yeah,
I don't get it. I mean, I know JSN's the man, but still, it's DK Metcalf. I don't understand it.
yeah. You'd think that, right? I mean, it's not like they're even throwing the football to anybody but JSN. So yeah, not great. For my tight end situation, I'm leaning Pat Fryermuth in week 16. My guy Hunter Henry against Buffalo. Buffalo's pretty good against tight ends. He's an 11.6. Fryermuth here 8.7, a huge downgrade they have against Baltimore. I was leaning Fryermuth. The ESPN does not like my projection, but you know what? I was projected by ESPN to be last place this year, and I was first. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, defense. We talked about the Green Bay Packers and Chiefs if they're available. Those are some streamers we would grab on. Cowboys if you're desperate. What do you think about this tight end? You rolling Hunter Henry, or you sticking with Pat Fryermuth, who I've been going with the last couple of weeks?
It's a tough call. I actually had Pat Fryermuth as my scenario with Brenton Strange versus the Raiders because Fryermuth's just been so good. With you versus Hunter Henry, you gotta think they're playing the Bills in week 16. That's right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and the Bills, I mean, if you look at them against tight ends in general, and you don't want to lock into any one metric and go, this is the answer, but overall they're fourth against tight ends in the last 4 weeks, and overall for the season, they rank 11th. So it's not that huge of a difference between them and the Ravens. Ravens are 22nd overall, giving up 800 yards. And Buffalo's given up 600 yards. So it's a little bit more yardage that they've given up the Ravens. And the Ravens just secondary sucks a little bit more. The division games with Baltimore have been tighter, though. And even in that matchup previously when they played, he did not do well. They didn't really need him. I think Pickens was in the game. He only got
I think
2
I
targets.
I might go Hunter Henry personally.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
especially okay. So it's also like, George Pickens dependent too. Like
Right.
his
If George Pickens does
hamstring.
not go, then I'm Pat Freiermuth is needed in that offense. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's why he was
Good
also
point.
in my scenario because I'm like he's just been so good over the last few weeks. But that has been with Pickens being out. If let's say Pickens is out, are you going Brenton Strange or Pat Freiermuth?
I think you got to go Brenton Strange at this point because Mac Jones just likes to throw underneath.
Yeah, they play the Raiders too, which is a good matchup.
Yeah. I actually we'll talk DFS stacks of cash coming up soon. So we got a little bit of something in there for Mac Jones for your liking. So, but anyway, yeah. So those are my start tits, and then this was one for me: Broncos against the Chargers or the Vikings against Seattle. If there's no Geno, I'm rolling with the Vikings. So,
Right.
but I mean, you saw what the Broncos did last week. That their defense is just full of linebackers. Just guys who can just read a play, jump in front of a ball, and go 90 yards. So, they score touchdowns. So if Herbert's run game is sucking and they got blown out by Tampa Bay, Broncos defense could give it to Herbert. So we'll see.
All right, let me ask you: are you going Chargers
Mm-hmm.
on the other side versus Broncos or Chiefs versus Texans?
Chiefs versus Texans, I think, but it depends on
You
if Patrick
think?
Mahomes plays. If Patrick
Right.
Mahomes
If
does not
let's
play,
say Patrick Mahomes is playing.
I'd probably go with the Chiefs then.
He is playing.
Is he?
I'm saying if he is.
Yes, I'm going Chiefs then.
Okay, if he's not.
I'm going Green Bay Packers, like you said. Pick them up.
I'm saying Chargers.
I know, but I'm saying no. I'm not going that.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the Broncos. I don't like that. I don't like that matchup. I'm not a fan of that matchup.
Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Explosiveness.
I'm just not a fan. Like, did they play or have they played already? They did. They beat them 23-16 earlier this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bo Nix threw a touchdown interception. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a great game. J.K. Dobbins ran for 96 yards. They're not going to do that. So, I think it's a different dimension of the game now. And I think the Chargers have lost 2 in a row now, or is it 3 in a row?
Man, they got beat up this past week too. I mean, that was
Not good. Not good.
Yeah. 40-17 by the Bucks. Like, damn.
Yeah, damn, bro. Damn. So, all right. You ready to build a little DFS lineup?
Let's do it. Stacks of cash, baby.
Okay. I should already have a lineup in here. If I'm not a promo, bro. Not a promo, bro. Let me see if I have my lineup in here. Recent? No. Hold on. I put a lineup in earlier. I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Yay.
Okay.
Boom. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the way we do it is we this is our DFS stacks of cash. And in this segment of the show, we like to break down our 3 different stacks. We like to do a little expensive stack called our platinum. We like to do like a little less expensive gold, and then our silver. And last week, the silver that we didn't play would have been the nuts. But you live and you learn. What are you going to do? They're all good calls. They're all good calls. Never a bad call. What are you starting off with the platinum this week? Because I think I know what you're going to do. And when you're talking, I'm going to build it while you talk. Okay. So you close your eyes and you say what you think it is.
I can see what you already clicked on. I'm going Josh Allen with Khalil Shakir.
Oh, you did different. You did me dirty. You're going Josh Allen with Khalil Shakir.
I'm
Okay.
going Josh Allen, Shaquille. I think Josh Allen has his sights set just like Dan Campbell has his sights set on throttling his next opponent. I think that this is a great matchup for Josh Allen to continue to make his case for the 2024 MVP. And you know, who's going to be the blow up person in this offense? It could be Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. He's safe, right? Like he's going to get his, and he also has the ability to break them, right? So with the safe like 15-point floor that he gets in, week out, you get Josh Allen with the safe floor. So I love that as my platinum stack this week.
I like it. It's not a bad stack. It's not bad. It's only 14.6, right? Like 14. That's pretty cheap. Mine was much more expensive, and maybe because of that we will not do it. But it's hard to not want to do in this matchup Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, because man, they've gone to town against Cleveland over the years, and they've done nasty, terrible things to them. Multi-touchdown games, and it's really expensive. It's 1600, or 16,000. So it's not 1600. That'd be great. It's 16,000. It's a chunk of change. It's expensive. That's why it's our platinum for me. But I think the floor here is undeniably, like, I don't know, 30 points for Chase, and 50 points is a nice floor, and like a nice ceiling is like 80 points, 85 points.
I don't mind it. I don't think we're going to end up going with platinum anyway, but like, man, I might take your platinum over my platinum. So
I might do mine in one of my 25-cent, 10-cent lineup, something like that, because I mean, I love playing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Like, it's just,
I bet you we have the exact same gold and silver.
Okay. All right.
Based on things you've already said.
Okay. All right. Why don't you throw your gold out there, bro?
All right. My eyes are closed underneath my sunglasses. My gold is Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams.
Okay. You flugger mother. You've caught me with my pants down. How did you know? How did you know? That's mine too. That's my guy too. Yeah. I like that one. Yeah. It's so sexy. It's only 12-7. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we playing with?
It's a good one.
This is a really good one.
Okay, and your silver is going to be the exact same as my silver. It's going to be Mac Jones and Brian Thomas.
Yeah, that's mine too.
So we have to choose. I think we choose between gold and silver.
I think we choose between gold and silver too.
We could put Jamar Chase in there too.
Yeah. Let's do that, and let's put. Listen, I say we do this, right? I think Aaron Rodgers has a much better ceiling than Mac Jones, right? So let's put Brian Thomas in there. Right, and then let's put Khalil Shakir in there, and then our flex. Let's go to flex. Let's put Jamar Chase in there.
You getting wild, baby?
Okay, there you go.
All right.
There you go. Okay.
How much is Brenton Strange for tight end? Please.
No, that's a perfect call. Yeah, he's only 3,500.
Right,
I like
that's
that.
awesome. He's going to be so
defense.
Much chalk. Big chalk for Brenton Strange. Who cares?
Who cares?
I don't care. This isn't chalk block.
I don't care. I don't like a lot of defenses down here.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giants at Atlanta might be. I don't know. Kirk Cousins is not great.
The Giants versus Atlanta. Okay.
I mean,
I'm not. I don't know. They've just been such garbage. I'm almost thinking Panthers versus Arizona.
Okay.
I I feel like Kyler Murray will give
Okay.
it up.
All right, we need to get a cheap RB in here. We only have 10.5, so let's go down and look in the cheaper,
The cheap
I
zone.
mean, Brees Hall is 6,100. That's insane. That's
Jerome
insane.
Ford.
Yeah, Jerome Ford is 5,600. Let's do that, and that gives us 49.
Is there
Let's
anybody
see.
down there?
Tajay Spears.
We could do it. I
Yeah,
don't mind it.
put Tajay
I
in
don't
there.
mind
All right.
it.
Aaron Rodgers, Ford, Tajay, Devontae Adams, Brian Thomas, Shakir, Strange, Jamar Chase, Panthers D. No money left. Put it on the board. Hell yeah. There you go.
Put
Let's
it on
win
the
some of
board.
these. I love it. All right, that was fun as hell. All right, let's get to Rated X, which is also known previously as Trace Tweets. But with that being said, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off.
Okay.
This is hilarious.
Okay.
This is from Jay Pegler, who Community Notes said he stole it from somebody else. Either way,
Okay.
it's
Okay, that's
brilliant.
Yeah.
I owed a friend $22.91 for an Uber. I transferred them $22.19 by accident. They never brought it up. Nobody would bring up 72 cents. I did it on purpose. I've been doing it for years. Every time I have to transfer someone money, I accidentally leave off a bit. I call it the plausible deniability typo. $24.37 instead of $24.73.
Mm-hmm.
$9.38 instead of $9.83. $3.46 instead of $3.64.
Okay.
Sometimes, if I'm feeling really frisky, I'll do $18.54 instead of $19.54.
Oh, wow. That's risque.
They'd look like a complete tool to quibble over this. Instead, they are a tool in a different way, a tool for me to get to the top. I've probably made $100 over 5 years.
I will like that one. That is great. That's great. I love that. Yeah.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Oh, you just
Yeah.
gotta love the internet.
Yeah, I do. I do.
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, I'll bet you the worst thing.
Now, if anybody ever shortchanges you, you can be like, oh no.
I know.
Don't try and pull the plausible deniability typo on me.
Right. I know what they're
They'll
doing.
owe me 42 cents.
I'll send them this picture of Dan Campbell's teeth. Did you see this picture?
I did. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love the heading. It says, "Goddamn Dan Campbell, brush yo teeth."
Brush your teeth.
That's from dipping, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that looks dippy-ish.
Yeah, that's
sure.
terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, I think you win. I just had to show that. Like, that's our hero. Look at that motherfucker, man. Like, that is crazy. That's crazy. That's almost as crazy as this. The other day, did you see this on Thursday night? I have to sneak one in. I don't know about you, but that is not Trent Williams.
Yeah. I thought there was something in the bottom there. Okay.
No, it's just they said this is Trent Williams. That is
Right.
not Trent Williams. So a couple of NFL just sidelines, just so funny. They're perfect. So I think you're the winner, though. Let's jump in and see what you got here as you're winning.
You're gonna love mine. This is called the Bad Golfer's Anthem. Pause it. Make sure the sound is up nice and good. Pause.
Oh, what's up? You ready?
All right, go.
Yeah, I just hit the range session. And I ain't getting better. I should take lessons. Cause I just bought a driver and a putter, man. Needed me better. Guess it's time for another. Okay, son, with the ass block. We're so old, 2 shots at the top. 2 cards, got a triple, double, like Westbrook. First name, Russell. Hey, get a triples and doubles. I need that trade. Super strong. I should grab me a couple. I hit a wedge over the screen and watch it land in some trouble. Then drop the ball and set up down to try to make it. So I can drink in my sorrow, but then I'm 30 days in, man. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gone.
This is our song, baby.
That is us. That's
We
our
are not
anthem.
good at golf.
We's not good at golf, but we have fun at the golf course, and we do throw around a couple of dollars here and there, you know. So
Well, I mean that's why I love that song so much too, because it's everything people who are not good at golf. You just stink, and then you just have one good thing that keeps you addicted.
yeah. Did you see this, by the way?
I did.
Oh man, this gave me the shivers. This was
Oh
great.
yeah.
Then the end, the
gotta
guy
love
just
it.
pushed him. There's a bunch of big man on big man violence. First of all,
Mhm.
right here, stiff arms, gets away from a big man. Then he stiff arms that big man in the face. So 3 big men have gone at, and then this big man chases him down and just shoves him. Oh man, that was just it was a big day for big men. The touchdown too for the Lions guy. He got
Did
a
you see the
touchdown.
guy who did a backflip too after
Yes.
he?
Yes.
That was insane. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm 200
gotta do one.
pounds ish.
I got to
can't
do
a
one of those.
backflip.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do one of those now. I thought if he can do it, I can do it. I'm gonna do it now.
Yeah.
So
Insane.
yeah, no, for sure. Well, no, thank you, Mark. Thanks for checking out here with the Fantasy Six Pack. We love it. We're hanging out, doing our same stuff, talking the same.
Did you have anybody you wanted to eviscerate?
No, not on my
What about
team.
Kyle Pitts? I can't believe we haven't mentioned him before.
Eviscerate Kyle Pitts. Yeah, he's dead to everybody. He's just God bless him. But he's not. Yeah, watch him blow up tonight. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you get us out of here, and hopefully people win their fantasy championships or their next matchup to get to the championship, because we have one more show to do to get you into your championship. Let you get us out of here, Collins.
All right. Pain, heartache, tears, heartbreak, chaos, all the bad things to all your opponents in week 16. Peace and love everywhere else. You hear that, aliens? Peace and love.